12 o'clock. We're about to fill your ear holes with the
All right, welcome in to Hoist Colors on a Friday. Something happened to our opening bed, and so we're just cold open, baby. Cold open on this Friday. Philip Pilkington producing. What's going on in there, man?
Dude, someone loaded a different thing into your, like, the cart where your thing exists.
They're ready to
so
fill
now
some
I
ear
just
holes,
don't have
apparently.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what was the most interesting part about
yeah,
that.
And it was not. So somebody's going to be getting a strongly worded text or email because I don't know what the hell just happened. I mean, and there's nothing I can do. I would have to, like, find your file, load it into a flash drive, and put it in the system. Like, that
was amazing.
Yeah. All right.
It was worth
we'll get
it,
it fixed
honestly.
by Monday. I promise.
little dirty talk to start Igo's show.
Okay. All right. Hey, Bobby's brought to you by Sup Dogs today. There we go. We got the Sup Dogs logo.
Filling ear holes on a Friday. Bobby Harward in studio. Bobby, how's it going, man?
It's good. It's good. We were just talking about last night's your Nuggets played last night, but it was just a phenomenal night to flip TVs. I watched the end of the Senators Maple Leafs game, then flipped to the end of the Vegas Wild game.
Yeah.
Then started watching the who was it? Cavs, Avs, and then Oilers and Kings. I was NHL last night. I was not NBA. I didn't make it to your game, but it
didn't. I mean, I got so many things to say. The NBA staggering these games and starting, like, Nuggets supposed to tip off at 10 o'clock, and they push it back to, like, 10:30 just so I get it. Like, they want people to watch the end of the Pistons-Knicks game, but who's watching if you're not a Nuggets or a Clippers fan, who's watching the first minute of the game anyways? Like, why can we not start it at least 10:10? So that just ticks me off because then it's even later of a night for us East Coasters. But, yeah, that's going Game 7, which I feel like was inevitable. And the other side of it, I know we're supposed to talk ECU here in a minute, but now the city of Denver has Avalanche Game 7 at the Stars and Nuggets Game 7 against the Clippers 30 minutes apart on Saturday. So can they not work together to spread that out a little bit? I guess not.
You would think so. I mean, yeah, it's gosh, that sucks to be just I mean, good thing the Rockies suck and it's early in baseball season.
Shout out Zach Agnos.
Yeah, true. 2 saves. Way to tie it back into ECU. But yeah, it's just interesting how they have to manipulate all these different slots and time slots and whatnot. Like, for example, I know the Hurricanes and Caps are about to play in their series. Well, the Caps have home ice, but because of the bookings at Lenovo Center, Shane Gillis is coming, Friday to Lenovo, and then Pearl Jam is Sunday through Tuesday. So they literally have to stagger hockey Thursday and Saturday. Like, those are guaranteed Game 3 and 4. So, yeah, it's just interesting how they have to fluctuate all of that. And, I mean, I'm sure Denver bars are happy.
No doubt. It'll be interesting to see who shows more of a presence, although Nuggets are at home, and so you would think the Avalanche fans, with the game being in Dallas, would show up and everybody else would be at the Nuggets game. All right, we'll talk more NHL, NBA later. Let's start with East Carolina. We've got a lot to get to. We got portal talk for basketball and baseball. We've got, basketball and football. We've got ECU baseball on the road at Wichita State. We are live, by the way, on YouTube, X, and Facebook. So Free for All Friday, as always. If you guys want to drop any questions, comments, concerns, we will get to it over the course of the next hour. I've pulled up all of our social media pages as well. All right, ECU baseball on the road at Wichita State. How interested are we in this series? We'll start with Philip.
I think you got to be to an extent, right? Like, with UTSA coming in next week, do I expect to win the conference regular season? No. But if you do sweep UTSA, you stand a chance if you take care of business this weekend. Therefore, I think that has a lot of intrigue. Now, look, you'd probably, in order to win the conference regular season, probably have to go undefeated. Is that likely going to happen? No. And that's not just with this team situation. There's just a lot of baseball we played, and it's hard to go and sweep multiple weekends in a row in college baseball. It's not how baseball was, played out. And we saw, number one team in the country get absolutely walloped last night in Texas, losing, 8-0 or 9-0.
Zach Root.
Yeah, Zach Root shoved for 8 innings.
Big game Root. We know he shows up for the big games, and that was one of them.
He does. So, I'm intrigued, but at the end of the day, I think also I'm more intrigued to just have guys find roles. I think we need to reestablish some roles with the pitching staff so that we feel good going into Clearwater. I think that's what these next, 11 games or whatever it is we have left need to be.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, you sweep this series, which is never easy to do, especially in Wichita. I don't know what ECU's record is all time in Wichita, but it feels like it's not very good. So if you sweep this series, UTSA is on the road at South Florida, which is probably the second best team in the league. They are in second place, and if you're South Florida, you obviously have a lot to play for, as the Bulls are 3 games behind UTSA. Let's say South Florida wins the series, 2 out of 3 at minimum, ECU sweeps, then you are 3 games behind UTSA with them coming into your building the following weekend. So at least that would create some potential drama, Bobby. But right now, I was a little surprised that Ethan Orby's going to get the start tonight because he just got shifted to the bullpen. But you have no starting pitchers right now, really. So that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, we saw what happened last Friday when they tried to go a different route, and it didn't end very well across the board. And so, yeah, I'm with Phillip. I think for me right now, I agree. Let's get your pitching settled in, and let's figure out kind of the rotation that we want here. Granted, we're at the end of the season, but really, I'm looking more to conference tournament play, and that's just kind of
realistically,
right? Yes, the at-large is out the window right now. In terms of my intrigue of it, it's really hard for me to watch that Wichita broadcast.
Same.
And 2 years ago, going up there and getting swept, I don't feel great about this series, honestly. I know Wichita is pretty bad. I think they have the worst actual overall record in the conference with only 13 wins, but it's a difficult place to play. Yeah. And talk about a program that has just fallen off because they had that intern coach and they went on a run, and then they let that guy go, and now they're just in the dumps. But
they were projected to be good this year, so I don't really know. I recognize a ton of their names going through their stats. I don't really know what's happened. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a single Wichita State baseball inning this entire year. But go ahead.
I went through their schedule. Yeah. It seems like their Friday night guy must be pretty good because at least the score, just looking at the score, not diving into the box score or anything, but just based upon the really shallow numbers, it seems like they got a decent Friday night guy. So hopefully Norby can hit his stride back. I know he's probably worn out. This has got to be the most innings he's ever thrown already at this point, let alone trying to finish out the season coming up the last month and a half or so.
It is just interesting, guys, that Cliff Godwin joined us on Monday, and I believe he said on that show, Phillip, that Ethan texted them and asked to be, or not texted, or I can't remember if he said texted or told them he would like to remain in the bullpen. And now he's listed at least as a starter for Friday against Wichita State's Grant Adler. And I guess they just don't really have another option. I mean, we've kind of talked about it. We feel like so many of these pitchers are better as relievers, but you have to have somebody start the game. So here we are.
Let me ask you this, because hearing that kind of raises some concern. Not that I'm doubting Ethan Norby, but is it a case of the yips a little bit, or is it, hey, I know my body is physically tired, and I know I'm not going to be able to provide my best for this team, and I want to step back? Do you have a feel one way or the other?
I don't. I think he just enjoys the mindset of maybe if you're starting and you go through that long routine pregame, you kind of maybe get in your own head. Maybe he tries to approach that differently and just almost treats it like he's a bullpen guy going into the first inning and warm up later. Because, all the starting pitchers get out in the outfield and they're doing all their stretching and all this stuff. Or can you use him as an opener, throw him 2 innings, and then bring him back out the bullpen later in the week? I mean, I guess at this point, just get on as unorthodox as possible because the options aren't exactly great. Phillip, any thoughts?
I'm sorry. I just do not want to see Ethan Young or Sean Jenkins start a game. I mean, look, if you look at now, it's a 1-game sample size, but it didn't go well. And he's been pretty darn good out of the pen. Sean Jenkins, I mean, his numbers are all over the place, but they're pretty consistent. When he starts, they ain't pretty. And when he comes out of the pen, they are. So at the end of the day, find guys who, and I know we're talking about Ethan Norby here, but my point is, if it keeps one of those guys from starting, then yeah, do what you just said. Use them as an opener. Say, you know what, here, go close out the first. Maybe we give you the second, and then go to Sean or go to Ethan, the other Ethan. And then, yeah, you've got Norb's back half of the week as an opener. D'Lo's fine in his 2 open starts. He looked good the other night, so maybe he's one of your openers. Maybe, I don't know, Pruitt is an opener. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. And you can use the same opener multiple times in a weekend if you have to. They only throw 18 pitches. Heck, even if they throw 30 pitches, you can use them Friday, Sunday. There is nothing wrong with doing it the way the Tampa Bay Rays, Kevin Cash and Kyle Snyder, were doing this thing 4 years ago. They had no true starters. It was all openers, and then they handed the ball to their guy who they wanted to get 5 or 6 innings out of in the second inning, and it worked fine. So if that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen. But putting guys in situations where they've clearly failed over and over and over again, Sean Jenkins, why do you keep doing it? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. But when Sean Jenkins goes out there in the 5th inning, he looks like Trey Savage almost. Don't let him start games. It's not that hard.
Speaking of Trey Savage, had a phenomenal start. Was it yesterday?
He's balling, man.
But I'm with you. That was my first thought when you talk about multiple openers and talking about maybe using Norby in that role. More so you having him go 2 days. Having him go Friday, and then I guess because we do TBA for Saturday and Sunday, depending on the amount of pitches he shows those Friday, either go Saturday or Sunday. But that way you're getting one of your best arms and more experienced arms out there for 2 days on the weekend.
Yeah, and I guess Pruitt will be another candidate to start a game. But again, he threw out of the bullpen on Tuesday. Only threw, I think, 19 pitches, so he could come back. It's just it's not ideal right now, and Cliff Godwin said it best. It's going to be unorthodox. You want to hear something crazy? Wichita State has a 6.89 ERA. They don't have a single pitcher with an ERA under 4.60.
So scratch what I said about the Friday night guy.
Their Friday night guy, Grant Adler, 6.63 ERA. Pretty good strikeout numbers. He just gives up a lot of loud contact, too.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, I mean, this is this pitching staff, guys, is bad. At least the numbers. I don't know what has happened to them because I feel like they were pretty talented last year. Again, the strikeout numbers aren't terrible, but they're walking a ton of guys. They've given up 55 home runs, and they have hit 28. So we'll see. And again, Wichita always plays ECU tough, and this will not be an easy series due to the travel and the location. But we'll see. It's just weird because like a lot of these names I recognize as having killed the Pirates, and yet here they are with a pretty miserable season to this point, 13-30 overall. So we'll see. Again, American Athletic Conference baseball action. We'll see how it goes. Ethan Norby set to get the start. And then 7 o'clock first pitch tonight, so 6:45 coverage pregame for Pirates and Shockers. And then the rest of the series is set for 3 o'clock on Saturday, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Let's go ahead and get a break in. We'll come back. We'll switch gears and talk transfer portal. A lot of things happening. ECU just got a place kicker commit. They got a punter commit earlier in the week. We'll discuss those things, talk about the basketball additions and more. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Are you ready to tackle those yard and garden projects? Come by East Carolina Tractor and Fleet, your local Coyote dealer, and check out their great selection of residential and commercial Coyote tractors. From zero-turn mowers to compact tractors to skid steer loaders, they've got you covered. Some with 0% financing for qualified buyers. Stop by your hometown Coyote dealer, East Carolina Tractor and Fleet, across from the Pitt County Fairgrounds or online at ectfleet.com. East Carolina Tractor and Fleet. We dig dirt.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
We're back to the show.
Okay, team, let's get back to work. Break's over.
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in, Hoist the Colors. Weird things are happening on this Friday. I'm going to keep it together, though.
Look, man, I'm clicking buttons. I didn't load any of this. Oh, my God.
We've got new rejoiners. Really appreciate the female talent. I'm bringing us back.
I don't think it's a real person, though. Like you said, I think it's AI.
Sounds like AI, but it's taking over the world. Here we are. All right, Bobby Harwood in studio, and we've got Philip Pilkington as well. Shout out to Sup Dogs. Want to make sure I give them recognition. They are sponsoring the show today. Just had Doggy Jams last week, 213 East 5th Street, Greenville, North Carolina. You guys know the deal. Also support Crush Vodka. They do a ton of great stuff for ECU athletics and the NIL collective, all that good stuff. So Sup Dogs, one of the best places, the best place to eat in town, especially if you're trying to take in some Game 7 over the weekend. Maybe head over to Sup Dogs. I think 7:30 tip-off for Nuggets, Clippers, Avalanche, Stars follow, and they'll have a lot of other good stuff going on as well. All right. We have some comments from Johnny Stats. We're going to talk some ECU in a minute. He says Jake Hunter has 4 appearances versus the Shockers and has a 1.35 ERA. He has never given up a walk against Wichita State.
There's your Saturday starter.
There is your Saturday starter, Mr. Jake Hunter. And Johnny Robertson says, is Ryan Smith the new special teams coordinator, or is he just an analyst? He is technically both, but he is the coordinator. It's an analyst role. Same thing that it's basically what would have been an off-field role, which is what Andre Powell did, but you're allowed to have basically as many coaches as you want now coaching. He's one of those.
To tie that into ECU, former punter Ryan Doherty, it's exactly what he is at Southern Cal. So he was an analyst forever at Oklahoma, followed Lincoln there to Southern Cal, and then is the special teams coordinator there, but technically is like an analyst.
Right. And those analysts get paid a lot more than ECU analysts. But still, I think it's a pretty high-paying position for ECU. Speaking of special teams, we'll start there. Good segue, unlike our rejoiner. The Pirates get a new commitment, guys. Multiple new commitments on the special teams front. I'm trying to find it here. All right, I'll just go to our homepage. Nick Mazie committed today. I'm assuming this is pronunciation. Mazzie from New Hampshire. Place kicker. Earlier this week, Pirates add a transfer punter by the name of Ryan Levy from Duke. So both guys are experienced at the college level. Levy was at Duke last year. He sat behind All-American Cade Reynolds, a freshman, Aussie, who averaged like 44 yards a punt. Before that, at Furman, averaged close to 41 yards per punt over the 2022-23 seasons. Also was their holder as well. So you get an experienced punter. Nick Mazzie, an experienced kicker. He was all-conference in the CAA, first-team all-conference this past year. He made 18 of 23 field goal tries with a long of 52, just 2 misses under 40 yards. Made all of his extra points last season for his career. He is 43 of 56 with that 77% conversion rate, and he has also handled kickoffs. So I like this. Going out, getting experienced kickers. You've got some experienced kickers on the roster. You have Thomas O'Halloran, the punter, returning Australian. He did not participate in the spring, Bobby, due to mono, according to Blake Harrell. So I'm a huge fan of these moves.
What's up with the Aussies in mono? Didn't Luke Larson have mono at one point and have to sit out for a little bit? Am I mistaking that?
I know he had to sit out. I don't know if it was mono. Maybe
Okay. Yeah.
I know Brandon Johnson had at one point, but it was never reported. It was the whole thing.
Well,
Anyways.
I don't just like these moves. I love these moves. This may come back to bite me if they end up botching a kick or whatever, but I absolutely love them. You're bringing in experienced competition. And to think about, like, just the punter's numbers. At Furman, he was 41 yards per punt. The guy who he backed up at Duke was All-American and 3 yards more per punt. I mean, 41's nothing to scoff at.
Yep.
So, and then on top of that, we know our kicking woes the last few years. So to bring a guy that was all CAA, has experience, I think he's comfortably can hit into the 50s. Looking at some of the article that you wrote up there, I think he had like a high of 50, a long of 52 or 56, something in that range. But yeah, I love these moves. Shoring up a weakness, bringing in competitive competition. Because all of the reporting that I've read from you this spring, it didn't seem like special teams was a highlight. So, and that's kind of putting it mildly.
It was not good in the spring game, and we didn't really see a lot of it, at least during the media sessions. It is interesting because Andrew Conrad, he's had his moments, and so has Noah Perez, but you don't really have a guy you can trot out there regardless of distance. Like Perez was the short kicker, Conrad was the long kicker. You also have Everett Scott, who did kickoff specialist, So you're going to have a lot of specialists competing for jobs, which I'm a fan of. Philip, your take on this move?
Yeah, so the tough thing right now, I think, the biggest reason I think, first, let's start with the punter, that you needed a punter was, look, you only got one guy on the roster right now. That wasn't good. And we saw, I can't remember who it was, tried to punt in the spring game, didn't really go well. Yeah. I mean, you hope, hey, with one punter, it's going to go great. But this is not the NFL. If your punter gets injured, if your punter has a mono flare up, you can't just go sign someone in the midweek. So it's good to always have two at any position in college athletics. As for the kicking side of things, yeah, I don't think this was a must, but I think it was a must if you got the right guy. I don't think we needed to add a kicker for the sake of adding a kicker because, like we said, there's plenty of guys on the roster with experience, but at the end of the day, who is the guy, right? I don't have a problem having one guy for kickoffs, one guy for field goals, but I would like to have one guy for field goals. I would like to have a guy who's got strength and accuracy. The whole two guys thing, it just
feels like a disaster.
Feels weird. Yeah, it feels like a disaster waiting to happen. We were talking about before the show, I go, how many times have we been burned on a kick?
Too many.
Yeah. So
how do you know this? I know the roster's shrinking to 105. What are they going to allot to specialists? Do you know? Because there's no way they keep 3 punters, right? Like
I think it's basically going down to 4 or 5 spots. So I guess if you account long snapper, probably 5. But you also need a backup long snapper.
I think you need 2 of each. I think you'll have 6 total.
Yeah, 6 makes sense. Which, I mean, right now, and I think some of the current roster spots will be grandfathered in, but eventually you're going to have to get to this. Yeah, a long snapper who they brought in, Tristan O'Brien from Indiana State. They also have Trip Smith. Kicking-wise, we touched on it, Perez, Conrad, and also this guy, Mazzie. That's 5. And then you would have and then they also have Everett Scott, so that'll be 6 who does kickoffs. And then O'Halloran and the punter, that would be 8, at least as of now, as I'm counting for ECU. But I would think 6 makes sense based on Phillips' take.
Yeah, I would agree. 6 probably. That leaves you 99 for the rest of the roster. Yeah.
Travis Cole says Maisie is 6'2", 227 pounds. Do we get a place kicker or Matt Dodge? That is a good quote there. Or place kicking version of Matt Dodge. Yeah. Hey, he did have 7 tackles at New Hampshire over 3 years. So I would say if he's kicking off, he's going to be in on that tackle, which I kind of like, although you want your kicker to stay healthy. All right, let's talk more portal guys. We'll stay on football for now. Pirates also got a older cornerback. I touched on him a little bit earlier in the week, but the commitment of Rashid Reason, great name by the way, reunites with Teron Williams at corner, and it needed to happen. They've got a couple more DBs on campus this week. It feels like from talking with people, I think they're pretty happy with the D-line, Bobby, after spring, but defensive backfield, as Philip and I saw multiple times in practice, needs to be shored up a little bit, and this guy has a couple years of starting experience, so it seems like they're looking to add on the back end.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts here regarding the portal and the defensive side of the football. One, I think if there's any coach on this staff that I trust, it's Roy Tesh, and It does not surprise me that D-line they feel good with. He does just an excellent job, and he's proven it year over year. I mean, not this past season, but the year before we had so many questions about the D-line going into the season, and they were terrific. And so it's cool to hear. It's good to hear that these guys are developing, that they've brought in. I'm a little surprised about the secondary in terms of how poor it was, but I also wonder how much of that is attributed to I think we're going to see an offensive skill set that we haven't seen in quite a few years here. And I think these receivers and skill positions that we have in are on another level than we've had in about a decade, which is really exciting from an offensive standpoint. But this move, particularly bringing in Reason, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
I think it makes a ton of sense. He was with Teron Williams at ODU. He has experience for 2 years. Philip mentioned it, I believe it was yesterday, like the Sun Belt is not too far off from the American Conference. And, again, they've given us a run for their money the last few years when we've played them. So that move makes a ton of sense for me. And then I'm intrigued to see. I think they're doing a good job. I know keeping everything pretty quiet so they don't get names out there. And I think that's the way to work, and especially in this era where I feel like there's a lot of respect for our defensive side of the ball and Blake Harrell, and when they're recruiting guys, other schools may try to jump in.
All right, John Moody, he's got a take on the rejoiners. He says the new rejoiners are fire. It has a big sports market sound to it. So John Moody he's all about it.
I sense some sarcasm.
John, are we being serious or not?
I sense some sarcasm.
I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. It sounds too fake to me. I want this show to be real and authentic. But whatever, we'll figure it out. Speaking of real and authentic, Pirate basketball, baby. They got some new additions, and we know Bobby loves to weigh in on some hoops. And here's my thing about this basketball roster: is Bobby takes off his hat.
The hat's off.
He's ready to say something. I think the roster is forming in okay shape. It's just I still don't see where the shooting really is going to come from. And you have a few spots left. If that is not addressed, that's a massive concern of mine. Once again.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to try to be fair here. And I think we all agree on this take. We all discussed it before the show. Last year, coming into the season, we knew he brought in proven talent. We just didn't know how it was going to fit. We knew shooting was going to be a heavy question mark, and it was for most of the season. How are those guys going to gel? But they were proven talents. Now it seems like we see where the roster pieces fit and how they're building it, but what's the skill level of these guys? I think a big thing for me to grade, if we wanted to put grades on things, because I know that's a big thing now, is I would have to see the allotted money to each of these guys. The biggest concern I have is it sounds like they're putting a ton of their I guess, money, so to say, on or relying heavily on a guy that averaged 1.2 points a game. They're putting a big amount of stock in this guy to bank and come in and hit. And that's a big ask for this guy to come in and then just take on a role. He's not really proven. He may develop over time. This has not been this staff's strength is developing basketball players.
And you're speaking to Eli Delore.
From Providence.
Yep.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. So that's where my concern is you're relying heavily on this guy to come in. I think recruiting the high school kid from Croatia or whatever that they have coming up, that, to me, that's a byproduct of giving the extension for no reason. Because he has a little bit more comfortability now, and he feels like, okay, I can take a chance on a high school guy and develop because I got another year on my contract. This roster and where we're at today in college basketball, with it being a year-to-year thing, he should not be going for these high school guys, especially these international ones. We've seen how they've panned out for the last few that we've brought in here, and it hasn't been good. And to me, it makes zero sense to go that route. Again, for me to make like a grade and have a fair assessment, I need to see what kind of financials that these guys are getting. But I'm intrigued. I love the big guy from George Mason. I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not even going to try. And I'm willing to give Calker a chance. But here's my thing there, too, at the point guard position. The guy that went to Arizona State, I know we wouldn't have been able to match anyways, but it sounded like they had Calker higher on their board. My question that I'm asking is, how are you rating that guy higher on your board than a guy that has been proven to be the leading conference scorer for a conference that's, I think, ranked, the Sun Belt is ranked higher than the American Conference in basketball, and he was the leading scorer, so he's proven it, and he's done it before at this level. How are you ranking this guy that's in JUCO unproven above him?
Probably defense, if I had to guess. Just throwing it out there.
I was told that they weren't sold on the I can't think of his name, that the guy who ended up going to Arizona State, and that during his visit, they worked him out pretty heavily, and they didn't love what they saw. So I do like that, and they trust Calker. At the end of the day, this is going to come down to their evaluations needing to hit, which is, their coaches, they know a lot more than us, and they get paid a lot of money for this stuff. So they believe in Calker. They believe in Delore. The one thing with Delore is they saw him in high school. They had I.J. Poole, one of their assistants on Providence's staff his freshman year. So, they should know what he brings to the table.
Well, and he was playing out of position last year, in fairness, at Providence. He was playing the 5. We're going to play him at a stretch 4.
But you're still relying on a big projection to hit.
Yes.
So, versus, as you say, a proven player. We knew what Jordan Riley was. We knew what R.J. Felton was.
We knew that C.J. Walker was.
Yep. And so you're really banking on – and I think we know what Imagiro is. He's probably a proven commodity, and he didn't get the minutes last year he got at Siena. But I feel like that one's pretty easy to project. Riley's pretty easy to project. Woodard could make a jump. But it's outside of that, you have a lot of projection to make on the roster currently.
And I think, too, probably one thing, now, as I'm thinking and hearing you talk, in terms of I'm probably forgetting how much money we're committing to Jordan Riley to return.
Right.
And some of these other guys that we brought back. But if I were to rank these guys that we brought in, how much we should be paying, it should be the kid from George Mason, the big guy. It should be probably Calker, Delorier, and then the new Mbang that we just brought in from William and Mary. So that's how I'd rank them. As long as they're staggered that way, I feel a little bit better. Still curious about and we talked about it too. I think going in, I was okay with this staff sitting and waiting. But now seeing what UNC Wilmington has done and how they attack the portal. And, again, let's not forget they came into Minji's in December and kicked our tail. And they were a much better team than we were. I think the Colonial's a better conference than we are basketball-wise. And it's just, I don't know. I got a lot of questions again. But like you said, they get paid a lot more money than we do.
Tough thing, though, Bobby, and I get what you're saying. I understand the frustration, and people don't want to hear this. But you're a kid in the portal. You've seen UNC Wilmington. Say you're not from North Carolina. You're from Oklahoma. You've probably at least heard of UNC Wilmington's basketball team. You've seen them play in an NCAA tournament.
100%.
But there's no way they have more money than ECU.
No, probably
I would think
not.
they've got a decent amount of NIL from what I understand, but
they're also not splitting it with football.
Yeah.
I don't know. We probably do have more, but
because they don't make money off football
Yeah.
that they can disperse to the rest of the athletic department. But I don't know. I think Siddle has come up with a clear vision on what he needs, and he took a lot of all-CAA conference guys, basically brought them to UNCW. So I think he had a very specific plan. And they moved quickly.
And he knew what he had to do, win the CAA.
Yep.
That's what they had to do. And what did he do? Bring the all-CAA team in. I mean, I think a lot of it goes down to what you're saying, in that he has a clear vision and a clear system. I think we have an idea of what Shorts wants, but as we've seen, it's varied, and he doesn't have necessarily a clear offensive scheme that he wants to run until that gets figured out, and we'll kind of play this game in the portal.
As it stands now, a lot does fall on Calker, Delore, and in their projectability to the American Conference, and also the 3 or 4 guys who really didn't play at all or play much last year that you're bringing back. I mean, those are roster spots you could use in the portal. So they're, LaDonte Felton, Tybo Bailey, Reed Kaysen. These are guys that they must project to take a leap. Otherwise, why keep them on the roster? So there's just there's a lot of projectability on the roster. I will add, by the way, Tyler Russ, whatever his name is, committed to BYU. Heard he got like $400,000 to sit on the bench or be a bench option, which is just shows how crazy some of the stuff is.
It's wild.
So they still have a few spots left.
They do. And if you think about it from a two-deep standpoint, we got Colker, we got Mbang at point, we got the kid from George Mason and Kaysen at center, we got Riley at a guard, we got Woodard at a guard spot, Delore at a big wing. So what are we're missing really 2 wing shooters is what we need to get. And that's why I don't like going after this high school kid. He may end up being great wherever he goes. Let somebody else take that chance.
Yeah, it's not a slam dunk.
Right.
All right, we will get a break in. We'll come back. Any other questions you guys have? Kaysen says by the numbers we will average a whopping 37.8 points per game.
Yikes.
We'll see, and we'll talk some playoffs on the other side. Hurricanes moving on to the next round. NBA Game 7's on the way on Saturday for both NHL and NBA. We'll get into that. MLB as well. How are your Orioles doing? We'll discuss that on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hey, it's Jim Wells again with Wells Roofing and Gutters here in the beautiful community of Lindale, Bedford. At Wells Roofing and Gutters, we believe in quality first. And that's why we use CertainTeed shingles, which are manufactured in Oxford, North Carolina, a local company. In the event you ever do have a claim or a problem with your roof system, they're local and they come and take care of us in a timely manner. We could leave off some accessories and we could certainly save money, but we believe at Wells Roofing and Gutters in installing the correct way per manufacturer requirements, and we warranty your roof both in-house and also with our supplier, who is CertainTeed. For a job Wells done, no shortcuts taken, and a good quality job on your home, give us a call today, 252-227-8403. We also offer financing, 12 months, no interest, no payments.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Listen up. He's talking now.
Who is this?
Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Ooh, the rejoiners. Man, maybe they'll grow on me. I got to figure this out.
I missed the pirate theme. I missed the Jack Sparrow and
I'm used to being hit with that like huge note right before we take the air. That's what I really missed at the top of the hour, where it's like dun 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 dun. Yeah.
I want the pirate music dead.
John Moody says he's being real. He says I like them. I'll stand alone on the Rejoiner Island. He says 99.9 The Fan has female AI and it sounds just like this one.
I don't want to sound like them.
That's what do we need to sound like the Raleigh market? I don't know. Like I kind of understand where John is coming from now that I put that in my head together, but
I want this to sound old school. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't like the new school, all the AI, all the I'd rather have just I would rather us have Pirate Al's voice on here or something, introducing you. Give me some old school pirate fan. I don't want an AI. Come on, man.
Have each of the coaches do a little intro deal for you. But because the thing, why I think part of it works at 99.9 is they have a female voice on the show, on Adam Gold's show. So, which I don't know if that's the show you want to model after either, but
I'm fine with a female voice if it's not AI. If it's his intern Peyton come in and record something, or somebody knows how to talk on a mic, not a computer.
If they at least change what's said a little bit too, I think that's a part of it. Because I'm with you. I don't mind the female voice. I just think maybe some of the language needs to be changed in it.
Yeah, we got to work on this. I wasn't expecting this today. So
I wasn't either. Turns out the open I played was actually the new open.
Yeah, that was the real open.
I just heard something else play. I was like, oh, crap, wrong thing. Turn it off.
Filling ear holes, and I'm like, what is going on right now? But apparently that's our new open. So, hey, we'll have some fun with it either way. It's really not that serious in the day. It's just sports talk radio. But I don't know how I feel about it.
Dudes having fun on a Friday afternoon.
Just dudes having fun.
Dudes being dudes.
Introduced by an AI female voice. So, but hey, I'm glad that John's a fan because at least we know we got one fan out there, John. So appreciate the take for sure. If anybody else is a fan of the new rejoiners, let us know because we'll tally a vote. This is the people's show. We'll let you guys decide. All right. There's a lot going on in ECU land as we've discussed. Let's shift our focus to the professional sports world. By the way, I said it earlier, but Zach Agnos, one of the perks of staying up last night for the Nuggets game, which didn't go in my favor, was I was able to flip on the Giants game. I was texting with my brother. Happy belated birthday to Scott Igo. You can see him at the Stop Shop, Nexus Up Dogs, which is sponsoring today's show. Zach Agnos entered in the ninth inning. Giants were trailing 4-3, and Zach Agnos pounded the strike zone once again, did not walk anybody, got 3 weak contact outs, save number 2. It is crazy how fast he has gone from the guy called up to their main closer, but that's how bad the Rockies are. They're now 6-25 after a 2-game winning streak.
But he's secured 2 of their 6 wins, so a third of them are saved by Zach Agnos. Have you gotten a pulse of Braves Nation after the first save?
I texted my neighbor friend who is an NC State fan and a Braves fan, but he was happy for Zach because he knows that obviously I covered him. But I think they were happy. They were content with the moment because it was at the hands of Zach.
Oh, for sure. Dude, I just think it's really cool looking across Major League Baseball now and seeing so many ECU guys in there. It's really awesome.
How are your Orioles doing?
Not good. Not good at all. We did take the series against the Yankees because they're the Yankees. But we have
I'm seeing y'all have the worst run differential in the entire American League, -49.
Bro, our pitching is horrendous. We have the worst pitching in all of baseball. It's a joke. And it's funny, Kyle Gibson had his first start a few nights ago, and a friend, we have a group chat for us Orioles fans, and he texted and said, "What are we thinking about Gibson?" And my response was, "Not great, but it can't be worse." Well,
it was worse.
It was worse. He gave up 4 home runs to the first 5 hitters he faced. I think 9 total. Thankfully now Mike Elias is starting to get some of the heat for it. We've talked about it. I know I've texted with you. It's just very frustrating. The owner, Uncle Dave, opens his pockets and gives him essentially a blank check, and he goes out and signs Charlie Morton, Kyle Gibson, the guy from Japan who hasn't been terrible, but he's not a strikeout guy, so it's going to catch up to him sooner rather than later. And then Tyler O'Neill, who's horrendous right now and on the IL, no surprise, and Gary freaking Sanchez. That's who he signed, and he had a blank checkbook. So
frustrated people in Orioles land.
Very much so. But, hey, we got another thing Uncle Dave did. He gave us direct-to-consumer streaming, so I'm able to watch the games now.
You're able to watch your team lose.
Watch them lose, which is there's a give and take there.
The Red Sox, Phillips Red Sox, are 17-16, hanging around the top of the AL East. The Seattle Mariners are the hottest team in baseball. They've won 6 series in a row, despite losing half their roster to injury. They're leading the AL West. The Tigers are off to a hot start. The Mets off to a hot start. Cubs, Dodgers, Padres all doing well. All right.
We blew a 6-run lead the other night.
Y'all did. Y'all have lost 2 in a row. And
a 2-run lead late last night.
So, but hey, it's early. Just don't get buried by May or June.
We need bullpen arms, man. We got some outfielders. Anybody need outfielders? Anybody want to trade us some bullpen arms for outfielders?
The Mariners could use an outfielder because everybody's hurt.
We will trade you outfielders for bullpen arms.
Hunter Corbett says it's okay, Bobby. Trevor Rogers might be returning.
Gosh. Dude, that is the worst trade. Trevor Rogers went out there for his first or second rehab start, first one in AAA, and just got freaking smashed. I mean, dude, it's – and then Kyle Stowers is ranking. Norby's doing well. It was just – instead of holding those pieces and trading for something like that's respectable, we're going to bring in a guy who stinks, and that's what Elias has done. I said it even before it's happened. I said Mike Elias has proven himself to be a rebuild general manager. He needs to prove himself to be a major league general manager, and to this point in time, he has not done so. Frustrating.
Do y'all want to go ahead and get a break, and then we'll talk NBA, NHL on the other side? Let's do that. So that way we got enough time to do it. Hurricanes moving on. We'll play the Caps in the next round. We also have Game 7, Avalanche, Stars, and then Blues and Winnipeg tonight, Game 6. All right, we'll get a break in, Hoist the Colors, final segment on the way.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
If you are interested in living longer and living stronger, Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine is accepting new patients for a limited time. Finding a caring physician can be a challenge. Dr. Billy Smith is board certified in physical medicine and lifestyle medicine and has been practicing in the area for many years. Call for an appointment now to Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine, 252-364-1108 in Greenville. That number again is 252-364-1108.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Let's get this party started on 94.3 The Game. You're on, big guy.
Oh God.
I was just about to say that's a lot better until it said you're on. Big guy.
I know. I was a fan of that bet until you're on, big guy.
Look, if we're gonna look, I'm all for the big guy thing, but Matt Maloney needs to say it. Matt Maloney's the only one that said big guy.
Yeah, true.
John, let us know what you thought of that one.
Mike Maloney makes a phenomenal blue cheese hamburger or cheeseburger. Oh, it was unbelievable. He had us over there one time when we were GAing. Homemade blue cheese burgers. Oh, so good.
Big guy. Gosh, it was solid till that. It really was. Steve Igo here, Bobby Harward, Philip Pilkington alongside on this new bed Friday. All right, NBA, NHL playoffs, guys, going on. Last night, stayed up late, watched the Clippers top the Nuggets, 111-105. Denver melted down in the third quarter, couldn't recover. I do have a problem with the officiating. I'll just say that really quickly. Nikola Jokic took 22 shots. He took 18 field goal attempts inside the arc. That's 18 shots near the basket. He shot 2 free throw attempts. Absolute travesty. He was getting hammered the whole game. NBA wanted a Game 7. They got their wish. Knicks win a thriller. Jalen Brunson with the game winner as the Pistons kind of gave that one away towards the end. And so the Knicks move on to face the Celtics. Philip, are you nervous?
No.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, I mean, look, are the Knicks a solid team? Sure. If the Celtics go out there and lay an egg, will they lose? Absolutely. Are the Celtics, can they play to an 80% and win the series in 6 games? Yes. Don't play bad. Stay healthy. Keep playing good defense. You'll be okay.
Warriors trying to wrap it up tonight. They host the Rockets in Game 6. We'll see if they can do that. And Hunter Corbett says it's so bad it's good about the
Trevor
intro.
Rogers. Oh, the intro.
Yeah.
So he's not.
He may be talking about Trevor Rogers too.
I think he's just like it's so bad you just have to laugh.
Yeah.
Like.
We've got a hockey take from Casey Ray that we'll get to that in a second on the Canes and Capitals. Clippers Nuggets. The Nuggets lost Game 7 to the Timberwolves last year in the second round. How are you feeling about this, Philip? I think Denver gets it done going back to Ball Arena, but I don't feel great about it. Then again, who feels great about going into a Game 7?
Anything can happen Game 7, baby. No, I think I feel as good as you can. In a series that's rightfully – I mean, I know the officiating was bad last night, but when I say rightfully 7, I mean 2 evenly matched teams, you know. Obviously, sometimes you find yourself in weird Game 7s, but as far as a true Game 7 – feel good. You know, Denver's a tough place to win. I do think they're the slightly better team. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
NHL, we got Canes, Capitals. How you feeling about that, Bobby, for the Canes?
Yeah, I felt better probably until we're actually now at the series.
Right.
Kind of as we broke down the NHL playoffs a few weeks ago, I felt a lot better. We've had the Caps number, so we'll see if that kind of continues. Expecting a physical series. More so, I'm really excited the Lightning are out on the other side too. We had kind of said it. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. The East side was kind of the downside, and that West has been just phenomenal playoff games. But kind of as Jonathan Wagner mentioned yesterday, it's just hard to stay up to watch those games. But really excited about that Avs Stars matchup on Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be an 8 o'clock start. Nuggets at 7:30. Avalanche beat the Stars 7-4. You going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, how excited are you for a 7:30 tip for the Nuggets?
I am stoked, although I'll be putting my kids to bed. I'm going to try to put it right at halftime. That way I don't miss too much of the game while it's a long, lengthy process. But, yeah, it'll be nice to not tip off at 10:30 for once.
Yeah.
Oilers win the series over the Kings 6-4. The Knights wrap up the series in Minnesota. That was a great series. And the Maple Leafs moving on over the Senators. Case from O'Malley says, Canes suck. Ovi slaps the puck. Another duck. Capitals in 5.
It's hard to argue.
Kaysen and I, we're on the anti-Canes bandwagon. I mean, really, I hope for you guys as Canes fans that you guys do see them win if you're a legitimate Canes fan. But there's just too many bandwagon Canes fans for me.
Well, it's probably that time of the year. Casey's probably seeing it even more so now up in Raleigh, all the flags and stuff that are coming out.
I think this is the Canes' year. I'm just going to go on record saying it now.
It sets up well. What's interesting about it, this is supposed to be the year they were going to rebuild. So people were projecting going into the season wild card at best, and then here they are in the second round. But it helps there's been no dominant team in the East.
I feel like they got to steal one of these first 2 games on the road to win the series, though. You said you don't feel like it's their year, Phillip?
No, I just don't think they're good enough on the road. I mean, could they steal one of the early 2, and then they would host the Panthers if they got the Panthers instead of the Lightning, so that would be good for them. And then, obviously, there's too many teams to calculate from the West at this point with so many teams still alive. But, yeah, I just think it'll be a better road team winning the playoffs than they are.
Fair enough. They've got to go out and prove it for sure. They have that narrative and that stigma, which is, very true. All right, we still have our old open. That's good at least.
Close.
Or a good, our old close. I'm all out of sorts here. Well, we're out of time. Bobby, appreciate you, man.
Yep, always.
Always good to have you on. Shout out again to Sup Dogs for supporting the show. Thank you to Philip Pilkington for putting it all together behind the scenes, including our new opening rejoiners as well. We'll be back Monday. We'll see what we're joined by then. This is Hoist the Colors.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back Monday with more of Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.